Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Frank here, the founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Programs. And in today's brief video, I want to talk to people who are struggling to quit nicotine, struggling to quit smoking weed, struggling with an addiction. If that's you, today's video is going to be a huge help. Here at Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching, we help people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and pornography. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you find this content valuable. I want you to think about this, and I'm going to give you an example. Have you ever gone out to a dinner or made yourself food and struggled to get through the meal, but you just kept over consuming? I did this just the other night, and that's why this topic popped into my head. So I went out, I ate a huge cheeseburger, and I said I wasn't going to be eating crappy. I ate a huge cheeseburger. I ate a huge twice-baked potato. I ate stuffed peppers for an appetizer. Okay, and then I had a large slice of cheesecake for dessert. Now, by the time I was halfway through the burger and the potato, I was struggling to finish my meal, like physically. My stomach hurt, and I said, you know what, this is so good. I'm not out to eat that often. I can get through a little bit more, and I'm sitting there chowing down. I was literally struggling to make myself feel uncomfortable. And this is where I'm going to tie this into addiction. Every single day that you remain in active addiction, you are struggling to make yourself sick. You are actually waking up, putting in a certain amount of effort, putting in a certain amount of work, enduring a struggle day in and day out, just to remain sick. And I refer to sick as addiction if we're going to talk about addiction as a disease state, as an illness. It's very, very similar almost to the idea of, you could maybe argue, a type 2 diabetes that is not driven by genetics or something like that, right? Instead of someone smoking themselves to death, this would be the act of quite literally eating oneself to death, eating too much sugar, too much processed food, too much processed carbohydrate. Then you get diabetes, then you get hypertension, then you get heart disease, then you have more joint pain. That individual is literally struggling every day just to stay sick, where you could make some lifestyle changes. You could change your food, you could change your diet, you could start exercising. Very, very similar to a substance use addiction, in that case, the substance being sugar or food. You are struggling every day to stay sick. Now, here's the beautiful thing. You've become accustomed to struggling. You've become accustomed to enduring this certain amount of discomfort, this amount of pain. Now, in order to go achieve something in life, in order to go achieve something beautiful, something incredible, and able to create something, it's a struggle. I've said this before in other videos. Making this YouTube channel requires a lot of work. It's a struggle sometimes, putting out content and keeping up with it. Wouldn't you rather struggle building yourself up and creating something amazing for yourself? Like, listen, struggling is addictive. There's something addictive about struggling. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're all just twisted people. But there's people who struggle in toxic relationships. There's people who struggle in a negative work environment. They don't leave that. They don't leave the relationship. I hate to say it. There's people, which we do not help with this, but there's people with self-harm issues, which to an extent, the overeating and the addiction is a form of self-harm. It's a little different looking, but it is. There's something addicting about that. If you're going to get addicted to struggling and enduring pain and a certain amount of discomfort, why not apply that to getting sober? Okay, if you want to struggle briefly with the withdrawals. And then why not apply that to creating that next level of your life for yourself? Maybe it's for a better relationship. Maybe it's for a deeper level of your faith, if that's what you're into. Maybe it's for the next level in your job or your career. Or maybe it's that next level of your health, right? It's a struggle some days to wake up and go to the gym. It's a struggle sometimes to say no to that crappy food and that cheesecake. Why not struggle to make yourself better? Because if you're making yourself worse, if you're destroying yourself, you're struggling. You're struggling anyways. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if that makes sense. You're already putting in the hard work. You're already enduring a struggle. You're doing something that other people will never have the ability to do. Make it worthwhile for yourself. Now, part 2 to this, as I was eating, and this reminded me of a different speaker I was listening to. It's important to realize, especially if you're smoking a lot of weed and you're getting sick on weed all of a sudden, you have Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome. There comes a point where you have to acknowledge that you're full, that you've had enough. You have to come to that realization, whether it's drinking alcohol, smoking weed, consuming nicotine until you're sick. At what point are you going to tell yourself, I've had enough. Enough is enough. I'm full. I'm done with this. I can't tolerate any more. And by consuming more isn't going to achieve anything productive. I felt terrible last night after I came home from that dinner. I felt awful. Okay? And even into the next day, I had like a food hangover because I've been eating somewhat healthier. So, at what point are you going to draw the line and say, I've had enough of this, but I am hungry for something else? I'm still hungry. I'm starving. Don't get me wrong. Not physically. But psychologically, I want more out of my life. I think everyone struggling from an inactive addiction knows that they are capable of more. And they crave more. They want more. They want more excitement. They want more of a rush. They want more dopamine. So it's okay to be hungry. It's okay. But go chase that hunger. Don't overindulge. Don't overfill yourself on this junk. Pornography, nicotine, if you're struggling with addiction to weed. I'm not talking about people who are benefiting from weed. I'm talking about those who are struggling with an addiction to it. Acknowledge it. Say, I'm full. I've had enough of this. For now, for today, for tomorrow, for the foreseeable future. There's something else that I'm hungry for. And addiction is not going to satisfy that hunger. Just like that cheesecake doesn't. Just like that sugar doesn't. Just like those empty calories don't do anything. You're never really satisfied. You get really full and then you feel like crap. And then you gain weight and you start to lose it on the physical side of things. And then mentally you don't feel good about it. It's a downward spiral. Addiction's no different. It's the same thing. Okay? So I want you to think about those two things. What do you want to struggle with in life? Let me know in the comments. What's worth struggling? You know, having a healthy relationship with another individual, sometimes that can be challenging. Whether it's a healthy marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. That can be tough. Having a healthy career can be tough. That can be hard. What is it that you want to struggle to achieve in life? Let me know in the comments. And 2, let me know in the comments, what are you hungry for? And what are you full of? Let me know. Type it out in the comments. I've had enough. I'm satisfied on that. I'm done with that. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video where I talk a little bit about Delta 8 THC. I'll see you guys there.